Video. Yes. Response video to the Modern Mystic. Oh, jeez. Hey. Or not. It's up to you. You really can do whatever you want. Yeah, because it will do whatever it wants. Never mind that position. I'll try over here instead. Yeah, I have to work this out one of these days. Focal length isn't quite right on this camera for some reason either. Anyway, Modern Mystic. So yes, he has re-disappointed, which, seems to be the tradition. So one good video, and the next video he just takes it all back because somebody dared to take his metaphor one tiny step further and imply something he just can't imply, which is that there's a quality to the game we're playing. We can play a shitty game or we can play a good game. And he just won't admit that. And he certainly won't admit that playing a good game or playing a bad game has something to do with what thoughts migrate into social heads. And that might be worth fighting for. This idea of what is a social thought. And the irony is that he talks about it as being a problem. Well, this is what society does to people, and it does this to children, it does the... As if, hey, if knowledge of this thing might make it possible for people to do something about it. And in the very next breath, he just takes it all away. And now we're just a byproduct of the wave. The wave is waving behind us, and it's pushing us right into the future. And we're doing our little blah, here in the present that'll affect the next future, that'll wave them. And somehow... nothing in this process could make a difference. If you spent your day torturing baby elephants or preventing kids from getting hooked on drugs, same difference. Doesn't matter. So yesterday there was some kind of talk like he said his to be quite fair, and I think I'm quoting this quite fairly. He said something like, "We're only here to entertain ourselves." Or a little bit better, entertain each other. So he made this implication that there was something a little better in the fact that you can do a little better than just being a selfish cunt. And then he just goes right back to saying, no, it doesn't matter. No point in fretting over it at all. Certainly don't choose something that might degrade your entertainment. So if you're entertained being a self-obsessed bigot, then why shouldn't people just stay that way? Why bring up the subject? Why talk about how maybe it's a little bit inefficient to be giving all these resources to people who didn't earn them? No, fuck all that conversation. And it's just so, these feudal fatalist types are just so, yes, it's all determined. Yes, but it's determined that you're a frickin' asshole feudalist. That you're so stupid that you think, hey, I can just talk absolute shit, and that's not going to harm anybody's brain. That's not going to make them think it doesn't matter, and therefore the people who don't matter are the people who are more likely to back into your car in the parking lot, or run over your cat, or do something else that'll just be kind of unpleasant and nasty. Alright, now, the bigger subject is that, it's very complicated, this do-gooding thing. Because the life you save is the rapist, and that's just... There's so much to trying to figure out whether you're doing anybody a favor. Saving somebody from cancer or something. So, yes, making them die more than once. I don't know if that's a great idea. So lots of things where we have misplaced a value. And but the idea that there's no value at stake, and the idea that 1,000 of us, or 10,000 of us, or 20,000 of us are all meaningless, that nobody's going to be a little spark that'll start a fire. It's just bullshit. Even if I am a useless troll on the internet, even if blah 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 blah. The idea is not a troll idea. The idea is not useless. This idea of communicating with other human beings and attempting to encourage them to not be silly, not to waste their life playing video games or doing recreational drugs or doing some other stupid thing. Sorry, the cat's got a nose issue, congestion problem of some kind, and near death, and blah blah blah. Life is just so not charming. And all these, it's just life is brutal, and we can try to make it less brutal. So this asshole instead, and I'm going to call him an asshole because I'm just so sick of these glib fucks. This entertaining crap, I knew when he said it, my brain reacted and it said that's Nick shit, and I shouldn't have aggrandized it to being just a witty or intelligent way to say help each other. I should have known that he really was just talking about entertaining. He really was just look at everybody else and see them as donuts and see if there's a way you can lick the frosting off. Some kind of crass, self-obsessed bullshit. So he talks about all this feudalism, and this wavy feudalism, or all our lives don't mean anything here in the present. All the things we're feeling don't matter. It doesn't matter whether you feel good. It doesn't matter whether you feel bad. And he talks, and so look, if you're going to gripe about anything, if you're going to gripe about inheritance taxes and why people are so stupid about it, well then why don't you just gripe about people being stupid about the living thing in the first place, the top of the pyramid? And why don't you just overtly say it? Kill yourself. Why don't you have the balls just to say it? I think your life is meaningless. I don't think you could ever do anything worthwhile. I think you're probably just going to be a liability. Kill yourself. Why don't you have the balls to just say it if that's what you're really saying? And that is what he's really saying. All your lives are meaningless shit. And, and he'll even maybe concede his own life as meaningless shit, and he'll say, yeah, and I'm not philosophical, rational enough to sit there and blow my brains out. Because, yes, I know intellectually that's all I am. I'm just this pen moving through time, and it just doesn't matter. And anything I do here will not prevent a single harm in the future. The elephants are all going to get beaten, and nobody can stop it. And it's just a pile of shit. Civilization has matured over time because people have these conversations about right and wrong. We abolished slavery. We gave women the vote. We ended the child labor camps, mostly. Did a lot of good things, and we can do a lot better. And we're not going to do better, though, if a bunch of feudal, glib motherfuckers just keep talking about entertainment. I mean, he even said it. Go ahead and support the sports team. Well, if you're going to say go ahead and support the sports team, you might as well just say go ahead and support the rich. Go ahead and support the owners. Go ahead and support the institutions. Don't fight anything. Don't try to do better. Why did you even bother with this idea of trying to entertain other people, whatever that means? Why? If it's all so goddamn feudal, and if every life, the welfare of the individuals living now on the edge of the wave, they can feel good or they can feel bad, and that's a truth. They can be hungry or they can be full. That's a truth. They can be comfortable and satisfied or they can be miserable and terrified. It's a truth. By percentages. These are truths. And it all depends on nothing more than people talking the right talk. And you're not talking helpful. I'm going to do my little bit to see if we can push this wave into a better configuration. Less babies, less mess, less recklessness, less sloppiness, less troublemakers. I'm going to encourage a peaceful, calm ocean. And instead you're just giving the assholes liberty to be assholes. And man, I just can't say fuck you. In a more in a way profound enough to convey or pay proper respect to what a colossal asshole you are. Damn. Just so disappointing. Alright, so I'll play some of this so you get the feel of this fucking drivel.
And the Spiders supporters and the baboon supporters.
Right, so it doesn't matter. Go pick a side, go play the game. So if you're having fun, keep having fun, because it doesn't matter what your impact is on the world, and you certainly can't think about your impact on the world because you're too stupid to do that, even though I'm sitting here talking to you like you're not supposed to be too stupid. Idiot. He rags on, I think he says it right here. I didn't play the whole thing, I went back a little bit I figured we could do the ending together, but it'll be some fucking piece of crap. Steaming shit, no doubt.
Kind of, it doesn't go away because nobody will really get it, because people always seem to want to big up their own existence and what they're doing to entertain themselves before.
Right, so if you have, you're bigging up your existence if you have this thought that you can do it right or you can do it wrong. And if you place some pressure on yourself to say, shit, I got to do better. I'd like to do better. Is there a way I can do better and still feel good? That would be really cool.
They die. They want to make it seem just so important, saving the world by shouting at people on the internet.
Right, or talking drivel to them. Talking about, just go ahead and support your silliness. Go ahead and be silly, a silly fuck. Completely humiliate your intelligence by rooting for a stupid fucking soap opera of sports. Go ahead, get addicted to absolute shit. I mean, there's no, it's a fucking, as a social drug, I mean, fucking sports is probably worse than goddamn alcohol. It's probably killed more human potential than alcohol. Just wiped it out. Destroyed it in little kids' brains. This stupid, silly ambition of being a fucking useless hero. Not a hero who, beat Goliath or something, not like David and Goliath, not some kind of great hero. No, the hero is, I threw a rock in the air and it came down and hit me right in the head. I did it better than anybody else. Yeah, I can throw rocks in the head. They lay right back on my own head. I'm the best at it. Yeah, that's so fucking useful.
Whatever it might be.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. Whatever it might be, it all doesn't matter. Don't think you can fix anything. Don't think you have any competence. Don't think you have any obligations. I mean, what a crock of fucking shit.
We'll play the games. We must play the games because we're here. We're going to do something. We are going to fill our time up.
Right, and you're filling it up with evasions and bullshit. Let's talk like we have a serious philosophy, and then let's turn it into absolute mush. Meaningless wank.
But just a little realisation of that is what we're doing. We're just filling our time up. We're really not doing anything that's going to be of any great importance.
Right, I mean, stopping the elephant whippers is not important. Who cares? The unnecessary harm. Trying to cure malaria, then. That would be a real waste of a life. I mean, you want to find a way to really waste your time here on Earth? Well, go get a job at a lab trying to cure malaria, because that's just a colossal waste of fucking time. According to this douche.
We can downplay all this. You can say, well, it take the excitement.
Well, yes, right. Downplay it. What he's basically saying is just ignore what I was saying about this economy stuff mattering or anything mattering. Just forget about the mattering part. Don't even bother catching criminals anymore, because as long as they're not raping you, why should you care? I mean, it's just such a lame crock of shit.
Out of things. Well, just think about it. Would it really take the excitement out of it? Would you have to go back into self-deluded mode that you're...
Oh, you're not self-deluded if you're sitting there trying to just sit there and find a dumb excuse to live. You found out that this engine of need and want and addiction is idiotic, and so now you're just going to contrive an excuse to keep playing a game and pretend it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that wave's going to keep waving if somebody doesn't do something about it, and that the negative part of the wave, the rapists and the drug users and the video game players and the idolizers and all these other assholes are going to keep making a mess in that world, and you just don't pay any attention. And that's what the thinky thinks do. If you really use your thinky think, that's what you come up with, is the brilliant idea of, fuck you guys, I'm going home and wank. Brilliant.
Talking to the one and only true God, or you're really doing something, just do it, but realise why you're doing it.
Just do it, but realize why you're doing it. Gee, that's just so fucking brilliant. Okay, I mean, that's like saying, you know that the dance is idiotic, but dance anyway, when you know it's idiotic. I mean, that just doesn't make any fucking sense. You really can't just do it if you realize it's socially destructive and corrosive and absolutely nasty. Once you know that, then you can't just pick up the bottle and drink.
You're doing it as something to fill up time before you die, because you've got to do something.
Right, and there's absolutely no difference between whipping elephants and trying to stop the youth from wasting their life on silly, idiotic crap. Sillier, more idiotic crap.
So, Bobby No Mates and the others. Yes, all right, but don't forget that as well.
Yeah, so he's holding up a piece of paper, past, future. And he thinks the past is everything. Let's not forget that we can't possibly be better, than the wave that created us. In the sense that, that we can't manifest positive ambition out of an ignorant wave, right? The wave is bad, nasty past, full of bad, nasty people and bad, nasty habits. And there's just no way to fix any of those. You can never, never, never do any of that stuff. I mean, we have to be chauvinist, and we have to be child abusers, and we have to, rape and pillage, because that's what we're born to be. Because that's what the past proves, is that we'll never successfully mature. Even though, yes, the past demonstrates successful maturity.
Forget if you've got that, and you've got that. There really isn't much for us in between.
Except everything in the future, right? I mean, the future is, he draws the future as just this little archy thing, but really the future is the one that has all the potential. That's the one with any little change makes a huge change. 10,000 years from now, a million years from now, little tiny, tiny, tiny change is probably the wrong word, right? Actualizations of intelligence, the realization that, hey, we're doing something inefficient and foolish. Let's stop being inefficient and foolish. Let's stop rewarding people for being stupid, like throwing rocks in the air and have them land on their head. That's really dumb. Falling out of rich people golden vaginas, well, that's really dumb. Let's reward people for curing malaria, and then maybe we'll have more cures for malaria. You see? Wow, does that take a whole lot of intelligence to realize that maybe that's the way you make a better future, is you put the right stuff in the bowl and then mix it? The stuff like, let's be logical. Let's not be feudal fools who think it's okay to piss and shit in the bowl. You ain't gonna make a good cupcake that way. Let's build the outhouse up in the attic. Yeah, it's really a great idea. Very efficient.
We're there, all right, but we're just up until it all fills up and then goes away.
Yeah, it all fills up and it all goes away and all doesn't matter and blah, 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 blah. And of course it does matter, and people are inspired by role models, Benjamin Franklin or something. I'm sure he inspired some little kids. Oh, if I can be a Benjamin Franklin someday. I'm sure it happened. I'm sure these are great, even just saying great words, even though you don't even know who wrote them. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it's not about Martin Luther King. It's about judge a man based on the content of his character, not the color of his skin. They're brilliant words. They're pieces of smartness. And this shit you're talking in this video has nothing to do with being smart. Just has to do with being clever and self-serving and glibbist. And look, I'm above it all. You're just playing your "you can't hurt me" with torture. I mean, you're another one of these big male, "oh, I'm stronger than life can't hurt me." Fuck you.
Don't take it too seriously.
Right. It's only rape and pillage. I mean, really. Yeah, don't take it. Just keep walking over the squirming refuse. Damn. Cunt.
Or if you're taking it seriously, know that you're taking it seriously, kind of on purpose. You know.
Kind of on purpose, yes, like I don't have a choice. Like, yes, it would be really nice just to sit around and drink booze and watch porn and wank, and then take a nap. I'd really like that. If that's all you had to do on planet Earth, that was my only obligation, that would kick fucking ass. But obviously, yeah, there's more to this bullshit. If you want to come out of the game, not humiliated. You know, not wearing a pink tutu, you know, with a big Band-Aid on your asshole. I mean, if you want to come out of the game with any dignity at all, okay, you got to do better than that.
Know what you're doing. You're playing the game, but you're playing the game, but with a bit of wiseness.
And so his wiseness is just don't let it make any difference. So when you get that impulse to motivate people or argue or make something better, forget about it. Just go find some pastry or some sponge cake to chew on. Entertain yourself. Do balloon tricks for the kids. Yeah, that's all they need. The world needs more balloon trickers.
Bye.
So fucking disappointing. So anyway, but you know, these nihilists, these fucking glib cunts. Ugh. Ugh. Man. I just don't know. It's just so strange that they, like I said, they have enough character, quote unquote, refined sensibilities, to see the purpose in well-turned phraseology and sensible ideals, maybe. See, but that's it. I can't. When they don't have any depth, so how can they? You can't call it an ideal when it doesn't have any depth. It's just it's a superficial, fairy tale mechanism of a contrivance of excuse making. And again, I don't know exactly. There's a psychology to this, obviously, that's making them illogical, because it's just plainly illogical to talk about how there's some meaning in playing a game if you're not going to play the best game possible. I mean, it's only rational that you would, if you're going to choose a game, and that's what the intelligence is basically saying. Okay, it's a game. Play a good game, not a stupid game. Now, what the fuck is wrong with saying that? How do you logically defeat something that fucking goddamn obvious? You can play a good game, or you can play a shitty game. You can play beat the elephant, torture the elephant, or you can play, do balloon tricks for the elephant. Why would you play torture the elephant? It's completely illogical. It's idiotic. It's retarded. It's moronic. No reason to do that. No reason for anyone to say it doesn't matter. Happy elephant, tormented elephant. Doesn't matter. Only a complete idiot says shit like that. And why are they saying it? Because the only excuse I can find is they're totally dissatisfied with their own capacity to do the right thing, and they're only conveniently civilized, in the sense that they're civilized because they're afraid to be uncivilized. They're pussies. They really want to be rapists or something. They really want to be just takers, and so now they're stuck in this bizarre quandary of having to defend existence in any kind of gain your satisfaction way. I mean, they can't preach what they can't live. And they can't live this, every now and then you take a bullet for civilization. Every now and then you take a bullet for your neighbor. It doesn't have to be a headshot, but every now and then you do the right thing instead of the convenient thing. Is that saying too? Is that going way? That's just going way too far. That's projecting all kinds of an ability to think or something. I mean, what's the, how am I violating determinism by saying how do you logically defeat that reasoning? There is no way. So why are they trying to do it? Why are they trying to logically defeat the idea that there's a good game to play and that there is a simple choice? They're all shitty games, but there's obviously games that are a hell of a lot worse than other games you could play. And there's absolutely no reason to diminish that. And the reason why they're diminishing it is because they must be themselves playing a pretty selfish, shitty game. That's all I can figure. They fell out of a golden vagina and they're finding rationalizations for it. I did earn it. Or something. I don't know. It's some kind of stupid and evil psychology. So anyway, enough of this. I've done this. We've been there, done this, and it's just, I mean, it's always going to be stupid is as stupid does until the people who aren't stupid don't get fooled by these people wearing hats and manicured beards, because they're just full of shit. And they talk smart, but they don't think well. All right. Till next time.